Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. As you can see, I'm sitting right now at one of the junction, which is a neighbor to where I live. But I think it's a good place compared to shooting a video in my rooms. My room is really small, and sometimes it could be really down to make a to make constantly within my rooms. The fact is, man, I was planning to shoot not from this angle but from the other side, because I want to capture the background. There's a beautiful building. I think this is a hotel or some sort of resident building. It usually light up the front side in the evening, but I don't know what happened today. They kind of want to save that energy or something. They just close down the lightning, so it's mostly blackout. So whatever, sometimes if I plan something, those things usually don't happen like I planned. So anyway, here I am. Before I head to home after gym, I decided to sit down at the rental place and talk to the camera. Why not? There's a two motive in every videos that I make, which is respect and connection. I want to elaborate on these two subjects. In terms of respect, I mean I have respect both to my audience time, attention, and I have respect for my time as well. I'm not shooting the video for nothing, as for my audience as well. Since I'm not very proficient in speaking English or shooting the video, but right now I'm probably not in the position to give you any messages or give some experiences. Maybe I'm not in this position right now. However, for my viewers and audience, by watching this video, maybe they can know how does it look like in Dubai, because for some people who are not living in Dubai, by watching my video, they got a hint of they can get a hint of how does Dubai actually look like. So at least they can gain something by watching this video. That is why, in terms of connection, I am here to make connection with my audience and with my viewers. So as far as I'm concerned, the reason why I am trying to be proficient in English is the more I become proficient, I can speak more clearly and more effectively, so that people can understand my message without any language barriers in my video. Okay. Currently, I'm facing three struggles. Number one is learning how to speak a proper English, and number two is self-doubt. Number three is how to be consistent on YouTube. I don't want to say enemy, but there's three obstacles. But here, there's only one. There's only me from my side. And yet, those three obstacles still cannot defeat my willpower, my commitment, my perseverance. I know I'm kind of being dramatic here, but I don't want to boast. I'm not boasting my quality or anything like that. I just want to say, it's not easy to make a good video. In order to shoot a proper video, my mental state has to be stable all throughout the whole day. Not in the moment of shooting the video, because during the day I have to control my thoughts not to jump around, different subjects, and I have to be mindful of my time management. Suppose if I waste my time, if I waste a lot of time during the day by scrolling through media or watching short forms, my mental state has been polluted because of those negative information, the news that I was exposed during the day. So I have to be really careful about my time management. Today's conversation will be very casual. I don't have any script, or I don't have anything that I remember. What are we gonna talk about? I don't have any script at all, so I will just speak out naturally whatever's come to my mind. And one thing is, man, this is just a casual conversation between friends or between brother, and I don't want to turn this into a lecture, man. This is just a simple conversation between two people, and this is not a lecture, and I'm not going to teach you anything. I have nothing to teach. Maybe some of you guys are even smarter than I am. So recently, man, as I get older, the thought of one day that I'm also going to die is often, it's not very constant, but occasionally it pops up in my head. So sometimes it kind of petrifies me a little bit, Okay, one day when I die, everything will end. The food that I like to eat and the people that I love so much, everything will be gone, and there's only me, and there's gonna be only the universe, only the blank wall. I don't know what's gonna happen after I die, and I'm curious about it. And as I continue to think further, I ask myself, okay, if I going to die one day, maybe even tomorrow or the next year, who knows? Nobody can tell the exact date of how one day our life will end. So we have to be precious, man. We have to take precious of our present moment. So, and I thought, okay, what does it make sense if I try so hard, if I try to overcome my weaknesses, challenges, trying to become a better person, and take risks? What does it account for if I'm going to die one day? So this is my pessimist point of view, and this is a long term. When I minimize this, when I magnify into when I zoom in, and I separate it into a daily life. So every day we die. This is sleeping and dying is analogous, so they are very similar. When we sleep, it's just a mini death. Every night we death on our bed. So what happened is, because if you are going to sleep tonight, do you still work? Do you still eat? Do you still do you still choose to love the people around you? Of course you would, right? It's the same things, man. We can do nothing to overcome death, but however, we still choose to live, we still choose to love, we still choose to struggle. And this is the beauty of it, man. Life is a tragedy, and we humans are part of it. This is a quote that I have read on one of the books. I forgot the names. So, how do you think? If you're going to die tonight, would would you still work hard? Would you still love the people around you? You would, right? So that is the same thing. Even if you're going to die, at some point, you still choose to work. This is my opinion. Maybe you might have a different point of view. You can argue, and it kind of like a different taste for my viewers to see Asian guy who throughout his life, almost 26 plus year, who have only spoken Burmese language and not even been to any English-speaking country, is now trying to be proficient in English and actually speaking in front of the camera. This is a different taste, seeing the native speaker talking English is very common, and we all exposed to this native speaker videos almost every day. But here I am, a Burmese guy who grew up in a small town of Myanmar, is now trying building a new personal identity. So this is my niche, and this is my characteristics. This is a characteristics of my videos. When I look back, man, there are a lot of ill teaching that we Asian guy have had to go through. So, for example, in our childhood years, I was taught a good children is someone who does not answer back to parents or teachers. I was taught that children who stay quiet and who does not rebel to higher authority is a good child, and I was rewarded for staying silent. So all throughout my life until recently, I have been reticent. Even in my previous job, I remember, I still hold on to that teaching. Don't argue with don't argue with your leader, don't argue with your teammates, stuff like that. And whenever they complain about my work, I stayed quiet. Instead of talking back or explaining my point of view, I stay quiet. Maybe language barriers also contribute for some part of it. But it was only recently I remember that staying reticent is not paying me anymore. I have to change. But the truth is, man, I don't usually like to speak in the office because, to be honest, their value system and my value system are completely different. So it is hard to find a common ground to speak on or to grow together, to work on together, so that we can have a long-term relationship. That is why my closest individual is my girlfriend, because she and I have a same interest, same value system. She follows my lead, and the more we communicate, the more we can grow together. This is the most meaningful relationship that I found in my life. Sometimes, as a man, we need a male friendship, but it is hard to find, man. It is hard to find someone who has the same enthusiasm about life, just like me. So I'm not an introvert, or not. I'm not so introvert. It is only because it is hard to find a good friend these days, and that is why the only time that I speak out mostly are on my channel or through the camera. yeah, man, if my two sisters are watching this video, I like to tell them from this video, speak out. If someone is bullying you, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to defend yourself. Push yourself to speak more, to express yourself more. Don't be afraid, and never hold back your thoughts. And there's one of the bad things that we Burmese people have is a tendency to they're very afraid to make other people disappointed. That is a major source of weaknesses. So if you need it, you don't have to be offended to other people deliberately, but you should never hold back yourself either, my sisters. Okay? And the other thing that comes to my mind is everything that we want to happen in life needs planning in advance. It is I don't suggest to go with flow, and I don't suggest to wait for perfect timing either, because usually in life things do not happen instantly. This is only that I have learned, that I've become aware of in myself as well, because my father and I have a similar habits, because as a child we grew up by mirroring our parents' behavior. For example, my father, he has kind of scarcity mindsets, so sometimes he buys things that are not needed because he afraid that one day it will go extinct, and one day he is afraid of he can no longer find the thing that he wants on market. So our house is usually filled with a lot of those miscellaneous tiny things. But one good side of my father is he's really good at storytelling, because when I was young, I usually hinge on to listen a good story. I was a fan of listening to a ghosts or other metaphysical story. People got haunted by a dead body, or stuff like that, ghost story. That is why my father has weaknesses as well as he has strengths. As far as I see, his weakness is scarcity mindset. He loves us too much. That is why even if we want to pursue his dream, he gave up because he's afraid of not being able to support us. So my mother, she's weakness is I'm not shaming my parents, My mother she is really slow at making decisions, and she couldn't make one decision by herself. She usually liked to ask my grandmother, my grandfather, and all of the relatives, people, for suggestion. It is very rarely that she made a decision on her own. So I can also see this behavior in myself. That is why I'm slowly taking accountability of my learning from them as a child, and I'm now slowly changing this disadvantage into something benefit me. Okay. Yeah, man. Those are the things the Burmese guy like myself has learned in my childhood, which no longer relevant in today's world. But I'm happy to see those, these modern children, like my cousins, or younger children that I usually encounter. They become more courageous to speak out, and I like that. I like this habit, man. Whenever children talk back to me, some part of me feel agitated because how on earth these young children talk back to me? But another part of me appreciate this behavior. Wow, this child is really courage and he's not afraid to speak out. I like that. So this is my opinion. The reason why we have seen this pattern of lost communication within people is because of overuse mobile phone. This modern technology it can amplify both positive or negative depending on how we utilize these magic tools. So one of the major things that I like to mention is, guys, be honest, man. So pornography, watching porn is not a problem. Let me elaborate on this. It is where everything that you see on pornography website, they are fake. Just think about it. Do you believe women and men behave the same way in actual life? No, it is very rarely, man. So what you have to understand is, those actor and actress in the pornography, they are acting. They are deliberately following the script or acting the story or show, just making out the story to attract the viewers, so that they can earn money. So as a viewers, you are so vulnerable. Especially if you are young, when your discrimination has not solidified enough. Okay, what I want to suggest is, I'm not going to say that you have to stay away, you have to abandon pornography in your entire life. But I want you to adopt this mindset. Whenever you go onto this website, watch content with the mindset of experiment. Watch what you want and do what you gotta do. But don't let it dominate your life. So what do I mean? You have to experiment. What happened? How do I feel after I watch this? How do I feel after the next day, 1 or 2 days? How does it affect on my work? How does it affect on my mental and emotional health? If you find the negative symptoms, then you should manage your frequency. Okay? It is not a bad thing to watch, but you gotta do it from the perspective of a scientist or experimenting. I want to know what happened if I do this, if I do that. Okay? You watch those content not because you need, not because you want, but because you are curious. You want to know what's happened next. You want to know how do you make it feel, right? So it's okay. Go ahead and do what you gotta do. This is a problem of young men. The other aspect is the younger children, like my sister age, between around 20s, and even the working man. What I have observed is, it's very strange, man. It seems like people could not live without their mobile phone. Even today, when I was going to the carpentry in my office, I see adult males working, maybe 40 or 50 between ages. Even while they're eating, they are holding their mobile at one hand, scrolling through TikTok and short form to entertain different sort of videos. It just intrigued me, man. Why even those people are addicted to a simple mobile phones? People say, life is difficult, life is more competence, and life is struggling, but they are blind to their behavior. Okay, I'm not judging on other people. This is only what I observe. I'm telling what I have observed. Okay, they are blind to their behavior, meaning they are struggle because the way they spend their time is not beneficial. It's not improving their life. But if I were in their shoe, I would spend my time. If while I'm eating, I will listen to audiobooks, or I will listen to a lecture on learning a new skill or whatever. This is how I like to spend my time. So the reason is, life is not so difficult, man. It is only if we can adjust 1 or 2 degrees of how we spend time with mobile phone, then we can do a lot to improve ourselves, to improve our quality of life. So there were sitting 2 people, 2 men sitting in front of each other, and both of them holding phone, and not even a single word conveying between them. They're just holding phone and while eating. It is not natural. It is not healthy. But what can we do, man? If we don't pay attention to this pattern, it is really dangerous. Okay, I cannot tell the what is the worst thing could happen, but it's not good. We have to plan about the thing that we want to happen. For example, if you want to become wise, if you want to become intelligent, then you have to read books. It is not like, you read 1 book today and you become intelligent tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. But the real effect shows only after a period of the real result is the aggregation of the work that you have put in throughout in the past 3 or 4 years. So to give you an example, okay, to contest you out like this is, I work out since I was 18, and I didn't know a damn about dieting or workout or recovery. It was only when I came to Dubai, I did a lot of research on changing my diet and the workout regimen. It was only after this period of time I read a lot of books, maybe 3 books to be specific, and I follow consistently what the authors suggest in his book. But luckily, I want to assume that I was lucky because I found the right books that are on fitness. So it was only after that I have put all those information into my head, then I become easy, and then that I become smooth in building, in getting the result I want. So right now I don't have any struggle. If I want to bulk up, then I can change my diet. I can tweak my diet a little bit. If I want to cut the body weight, I can easily do that as well. There's no problem at all. So just imagine, had I not been read those books, I will still be struggling in my fitness journey as well. So this is an epitome of getting the result we want, you know. So to compare this phenomena into my current self is, if I want to become proficient in English, it is not that I make a few hundreds video. It is not that I make it is not that I study for months and I'll become naturally proficient in English. No, it doesn't work like that. I have to work and I have to make videos every single day. I don't know what time that I'll be reach the level that I want. I don't care, man. So, but one thing that I'm guarantee is, if I don't do this consistently, then my 3 years project will not manifest. It's not going to happen naturally, you know. Yeah, man, that is what I'm planning for the next 3 years. In order to see the result after 3 years, I have to plant the seeds right now. It's just like an oak tree, you know. The seed is very little, but whenever, but by the time it rooted, by the time it got rooted under the ground, and wait for years, the tree from the little seed will become a huge tree in the forest. Another example is, if I want to shoot a video in a particular place, then I have to lay out time, what time I will go there, what devices that I will bring along, and what clothes that I want to wear while shooting this video, while shooting the video. Everything has to plan out, detail. The more you can pay attention to details, the better. As far as the things actually take place, it's not your concern, okay? You gotta do what you gotta do and prepare. So currently, I have a plan to shoot a video on Sunday mornings before sunrise. So in order to happen this real, then I have to sleep early, you know. If I want to sleep early, then I have to stop eating food before I go to sleep and stop drinking coffee in the evening, so that is not going to disrupt my sleep schedule. You see, those are really tiny things that add up. It looks very insignificant when you look separately, but everything can contribute in actualization of making this video. Okay, like I said, I have to sleep early, I have to recharge my camera battery, I have to recharge the microphone, I have to prepare for my breakfast, you know, everything, a lot of things, man. I'm not going to further anymore. So yeah, plan, man, just plan out. It is very rarely things happen randomly. The opposite of planning out is you gotta take the opportunity, man. Just like right now, if I give an excuse of, oh, I'm not going to shoot a video here because there is no beautiful place in the background, I must go to this place. No, it doesn't work like that. If I have a camera and tripod and microphone, that I'm ready to shoot a video at anywhere possible. So this is what I want to say by taking the opportunity you get, you know, no excuse. Essentially, you gotta balance out. Sometimes you gotta grab the opportunity you have, and sometimes you have to plan out in order to collect the most amount of accomplishment you can do. So we need the volume of work, you know. Yeah, there's two things. There's a polarity. One side of it is one side of the polarity is take opportunity at random moment without any planning at all. You see the opportunity, you seize it. And the other side is you plan out everything in advance in order to accomplish it. Okay? That's it, man. That's all for today. See you in the next video. Bye bye.